Welcome to Goosebumps. Hey guys, and welcome back to chapters 13 and 14 of R.L. Stine's Slappy Birthday to You, one of the first books of the Goosebumps series for Slappy World. If you're enjoying Slappy World or Slappy Birthday to You, you can always pick up the other books. There's multiple books to this and multiple books by the same author titled with Goosebumps. So hey, you can find a copy at the library. You can find them online, pretty much anywhere you can find books. All right, let's get started with chapter 13 and 14. Ian gasped. A hush fell over the basement. Johnny's words seemed to linger in the air. All eyes were on the dummy. It lay on its back on the work table. Its glassy black eyes gazed blankly at the low ceiling. Its arms hung limply at its sides. Ian realized he was holding his breath. Was the dummy about to raise his head and speak to them? Vinny broke the silence. "Maybe you didn't read the words right," he told his brother. "Let me try." He grabbed the paper from Johnny's hand, but before Vinny could read the first word, Ian took it from him. "I'd better put this in a safe place," he said. "But it didn't work," Vinny protested. "The dummy didn't move at all." Mr. Barker smiled. "Not everything on Wikipedia is true," he said. Ian tucked the paper away in the corner of the work table. He breathed a sigh of relief. He and some of his friends had watched a horror movie on Netflix about ventriloquist dummy that had came to life and started killing everybody or people with an axe. He knew it was just a movie, but he couldn't shake that creepy feeling. Ian scooped up the dummy and tossed him over his shoulder. "Thanks for fixing him, Dad," he said. He started up the basement stairs to the living room. The others followed. Molly picked up Abigail and began fiddling with her dress. Johnny and Vinny swiped cupcakes off the tray. They didn't bother to chew, just gulped them down. Then Vinny made a grab for Slappy. "My turn," he told Ian. "Not happening," Ian said. "You already broke him once." They started to argue, but the front door opened and Vinny and Johnny's dad appeared. "Hey, happy birthday, Ian," he called. "Thanks, Uncle Donnie." Mr. Harding looked a lot like his sons. He was a big, red-faced man with straight blond hair brushed away from his forehead and striking blue eyes. His face was lined, and his expression always reminded Ian of a sad clown he had seen at the circus. Mr. Harding's stomach bulged under his gray sweatshirt. His matching gray sweatpants were ripped at one knee. "Time to go, boys," he told them. "Did you have jackets or anything?" "No, it's too hot," Vinny answered. "We don't want to go," Johnny whined. "We didn't get a turn with Slappy, and I'm still hungry." Miss Barker laughed. "Donnie, don't you feed these boys? They ate everything but the wallpaper." Mr. Harding shook his head. "I'm raising monsters. Seriously." "You know, next week is the family talent show," Miss Barker told Vinny and Johnny. "Maybe you can play with the dummy then." Vinny groaned. "Another talent show? Do we have to?" "Don't start grumbling," Mr. Harding said. "You know we all get together once a year and have a talent show. It's a wonderful tradition your grandparents started long before you were born." "It's a dumb tradition," Johnny muttered. "That's because you're dumb," Molly chimed in from the corner of the room. "Don't start fighting again, Molly," Miss Barker snapped. "Your cousins are leaving." Vinny stomped over to Molly. "What do you want?" she demanded. "Just wanted to say goodbye," Vinny answered. Then he grabbed the head of Molly's doll and snapped it backwards. "You broke it! Dad, he broke it!" Molly shrieked. Mr. Barker scratched his head. "It looks bad, but I think I can fix it." Molly glared at Vinny. "Why did you do that?" "Because she's ugly," Vinny said. "Hey, Vinny, want to talk about ugly?" A harsh voice rasped. Everyone turned to see Slappy moving in Ian's arms. "Your face looks like something I pulled out of my nose," Slappy cried. Vinny growled. "Ian, you're a jerk. You're not funny." He rushed at Ian and tried to wrestle the dummy from his arms. Guys! Uncle Donnie pulled Vinny away. "Let's go, enough fighting." He led Vinny and Johnny to the front door. "You boys can fight all you want," Molly called after them. Abigail and I are going to win the talent show next week. Ian snickered. Do you honestly think that old dog can compete with Slappy? You're crazy. We'll see, Molly said. We'll see. Chapter 14. After dinner the next night, Ian did his homework. Then he picked up Slappy and started to work with the dummy. He slid his hand around inside the dummy's back, practicing the moves for nodding the head and making the red-lipped mouth go up and down. Ian's hand fumbled around until he found the control for making the dummy's eyes slide back and forth. He practiced moving the eyes until it came naturally for him. Then Ian practiced talking in a shrill voice without moving his lips. It was harder than he thought. He clamped his teeth together and recited the alphabet. The letter B was impossible to say without touching his lips together, and the letters M and P were just as hard. Now I need some jokes for our comedy act, Ian thought. But before he could begin, his father's shout rang up the stairs. Bedtime, Ian! See you at breakfast! Ian yawned. He wanted to spend more time with Slappy. There were only a few days till the family talent show, and he wanted to be ready. He yawned again. He knew he was too tired to work any longer. He carried the dummy to his bedroom closet and sat him down against the back wall. Then he pulled on his pajamas and got changed for bed. Ian fell asleep quickly with the whisper of a soft breeze outside his bedroom window. Soon he found himself having the weirdest dream. Ian dreamed that Vinny and Johnny were ventriloquist dummies, and in the dream they had wooden heads and their blonde hair painted on top, and wooden lips that clicked when their mouths moved up and down. They were much chubbier than Slappy, and they both had big hands covered by white gloves. Ian had the Johnny dummy on one lap and the Vinny dummy on the other lap. Somehow, he was able to make them both talk at once. As Ian worked their heads, the two dummies started to shout at one another. Then they began to fight, swinging their arms and smacking each other with their big wooden hands. Ian lost control. He couldn't stop the fight. The two dummies slid off his lap and began wrestling on the floor, both screaming at once. Ian woke up laughing. What a crazy dream! His two cousins looked so dumb. Red morning sunlight washed through the bedroom window. Ian heard birds chirping in the trees in the front yard. Blinking himself awake, he started to sit up. Whoa! Wait! The closet door was open. Hadn't he closed it last night? Ian pulled himself all the way up. His arm hit a bump in the covers. Ian turned, looked down, and saw the grinning face staring up at him. The grinning face of Slappy beside him in bed. Oh, goodness. Starting to get good. So make sure you tune in tomorrow at the same time. But also, make sure you answer those questions with complete sentences. We'll see you tomorrow, guys, for chapters 15 and 16.